Hey guys, this is the video for the review for Unit 8. You can do this review, you're going to pass the test. Please watch this and check your answers. And we're going to look for a code that's going to have four words in it. That's what you need to submit. Here we go. So it says to graph this function, and let's see if we can find these things when we do that. So we're going to do it a couple of different ways. We're going to use a calculator. I'm going to grab one. And just by looking at this, we can see that it's going to be opening up because this is positive. We know the y-intercept right here is negative 12, so we know the y-intercept is when x is 0, y is negative 12. The x-intercepts, we're going to look for that, and the vertex, we're going to look for that as well. Axis of symmetry, min and max. So let's put this in the calculator, and we're going to hit y equals. We're going to put in 2x squared minus 2x minus 12. We're going to hit graph. And there's our parabola. And I can see clearly that this is going through when x is negative 2, y is 0. So here's my intercept. When x is negative 2, y is 0. And on this side, we can see 1, 2, 3. When x is 3, y is 0. The vertex, I can't see that because it's going down here a little bit. But I know that it's going to cut through the middle, so the middle should be, let's see, 1, 2, probably 1.5. So let's see if we can zoom in a little bit to see what this is. Oh my goodness, this is in Spanish. Hold on. Let's see if this one works. Y equals, and we have 2x squared minus 2x minus 12. And we hit graph, whoops, y equals 2x squared minus 2x minus 12. Graph. Like I said, I can't see that, so I'm going to hit zoom, 3, enter, and now I can see it, and I still can't tell where it is. So we're going to use the functions on the calculator, and we're going to figure out where the vertex is. So I'm going to hit second trace, and since this is opening up, I know it's going to be a minimum, so I'm going to hit minimum 3. And now I'm going to move the cursor. It's already at a good spot, so I'm going to hit enter for left bound. Then I'm going to curve it around here, and I'm going to hit enter for right bound, and then I'm going to hit enter for guess. Okay, I was off. So I can see that the vertex is, when I was estimating, I thought it was 1.5, but it's a half. So we know the vertex is 0.5, and we know the minimum is negative 12.5. And we know the axis of symmetry is the x here, so we know that's 0.5. And is it min or max? And we know it's min, and y can be greater than or equal to negative 12.5. Okay, I'm not going to draw it because it's already, we can see it on the graph. Zoom to enter. Goodness, that's too big. Zoom 3, enter. So I'm not going to draw it, but you can do that if you would like. Okay, number 2. What is the y-intercept of this graph? Well, we can see that is where it crosses the y-axis, so we know the y-intercept is when x is 0, y is 4. What is the axis of symmetry? That is where it cuts the parabola in half, and it looks like it's going to cut it right here. So the axis of symmetry is x equals 2. Next one, what is the maximum value? The maximum value is going to be the very top tip of the parabola, and we know the maximum value is going to be, what is this number? Oh my gosh, it's so little. 9. So the maximum value is, and this is going to be a max because it's going down. So we know y needs to be less than or equal to 9. What are the zeros? This is when it crosses the the x-axis. Here's your x, and I can see one is here, and I can see one is here. And so I'm not going to put this in the calculator or do anything like that because I can estimate and see which answer works. We know it's not 3. We know it's not 2 and 9. And we know there's 2 of them, so it can't be 11 over 12. This looks like it's about 1/3. And this one looks like it's, I'd say 1.5, so that's great. So you know your answer's D just by looking at that. Which of the following is a factor of x squared plus 18x plus 65? So let's see which one it is. So I know my factors are going to be these numbers probably because those are the answers. And I know I'm going to have an x. And I need to figure out what, so we can mark out the negatives because this is a positive and this is a positive. So we know we're working with 5 or 15. So let's see, the factors of 65. So something times something needs to equal 65. Added together is going to give me 18. So let's see. I know 65 divided by 4. Whoops. 65 divided by, well, let's just go down the things like I've taught you. 1 times 65, 65, that won't work. We know 2 won't go into 65. How about 3? So 65 divided by 3 is not going to work either. 65 divided by 4, nope. 65 divided by 5, and that will give us our 18. So we have a 5 times 5 times 13 will give me 65. So I know I have a plus 5 and a plus 13 because 13 plus 5 is also 18. And here's my answer is C. Which of the following are factors of 8x squared plus 2x minus 1? I'm going to do the box method because I have a coefficient. So I'm going to draw my box. And I need to know what times what is negative 1 added together is positive 2. So we know what times, 8 times 1 is our product. 8 times negative 1, so it's negative 8. And our sum is going to be 2. So what times what is a negative 8 added together is a 2. So if we have a negative 4 times a 2, we would get a negative 8. And then we know, well, that would give us a positive. That would not be right. This eraser's horrible. So if we had a positive 4 and a negative 2, that would give us a negative 8. And then a positive 4 minus 2 would also give us a positive 2. So that would work. So we put the first number here, 8x squared, and we put the last number here. And now we're ready to put in our two factors. We have a negative 8. We have a 4 and a negative 2. And we know 1 can be factored out of this, 4 can be factored out of that, 2 this way, and 1 this way. And we know the rule is if this is negative, If this is negative, and it's not. So now we're ready to see which ones work. We have 4x minus 1 times 2x plus 1. And let's see which one matches that. B. Your answer is B. Okay, which of the following is a factor of x squared plus 4x minus 12? Let's see if we can do that one. We have our x. And we know what times what is negative 12. Added together is a 4. So if we have 6 times negative 2, that gives us a negative 12. And if we have 6 minus 2, that also gives us a positive 4. So that works. So we have plus 6 and minus 2. And so your answer is D. Which of the following are factors of this set of numbers, or this function? Again, I'm going to do the box method because I have a coefficient. I know 2 times 17 is 14, and that's 2 times negative 7 is negative 14, and the product needs to be negative 13. So what times what is 14 added together is negative 13. So we have a negative 14 times 1 is going to give us a negative 14. And if we have a negative 14 plus 1, we're going to get a negative 13. So there we have it. We can put in 2x squared here. We're going to put in negative 7 there. And our numbers are negative 14 and 1. We can factor out a 1, we can factor out a 2, we can factor out a 1, and we can factor out a 7. That's negative, that's not. So now we have our answer. So we have x minus 7 times 2x plus 1. Answer's A. Okay, which of the following? Okay, for questions 9 through 12, factor each of the following polynomials. Okay, so we have x squared minus 49. We don't have a middle number, so we just need something times something that equals 49 when added together would give us a 0. So we know that's 7 times 7. So we have our x's, and we need to have a plus 7 and a minus 7. Let's see, this one does not, this one has a coefficient, so I'm going to do the box method. And I'm going to multiply 9 times the last number, which would be 900. Oh my goodness. So the product is 900, and the sum is 0. And let's see what we can have. It has to be something divided by itself because we have a 0. So I'm going to square root, second square root, 900. And I know my answer is 30. So I know 30 times 30 gives me 900. And, well, that won't work either. Let's see. Because 900, yeah, that'll work. 30. So we have 9x squared, and we have a negative 100. And then we know that 30 times 30 is 900. And then this is going to be, so we need a negative 30 and a negative and a positive 30. So let's see what we have here. We have negative 30 and we have positive 30. And that'll be 0. That'll be negative. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to go so fast because I don't want this to be too long of a video. And we're already at 14 minutes. So we can factor out a 10 here. On this side, we can factor out a 3. This way, we can factor out a 3. And this side, we can factor out a 10. So that's negative. That's positive. So we have 3x minus 10 times 3x plus 10. And that will give us our answer. 3x minus 10, 3x plus 10. Okay, this one here, a lot of factoring. To save time, let's see, I'm not even sure if I'm going to do that. Yeah. I'm not going to do it because I want to get to the other stuff. What is the vertex of the graph? Okay, here we go. I'm going to hit y equals, clear. I'm going to put in the equation 2x squared plus 12x plus 8. I'm going to hit graph. Okay, my graph's kind of goofy because I zoomed a minute ago. It's okay. I'm going to hit second trace. And I know this is going to open up, so I have a minimum. And I'm going to move the cursor down back to over to the left. I'm going to hit enter for left bound. I'm going to hit enter for right bound. So now I have my boundaries. I'm going to hit enter, and I know my vertex is -3 and -10. So my answer is C. Which quadratic function in vertex form can be represented by the graph that has a vertex at 3 and -7 and pass through the point 1 and -10? Okay, well, we can just write this out using the vertex equation, and that is y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. So we know the vertex is h and k. And here's our point, x and y. So we need to solve for a. And we're going to do that by plugging all this stuff in. So we know y is -10. And we know we're looking for a. And we know x is 1 minus 3 squared minus 7. So now we can plug that in, and we have -10 equals a times, let's see, this will become a -2 squared minus 7. -10 equals a. -2 times -2 is a 4 minus 7. So now we have -10 equals 4a minus 7.